Stuff there from Blake Snell. By the numbers, he has actually worked less than any of the Dodgers' top 4 starters in the rotation, at least in Cactus League play. Just 1 inning of work in his lone spring start. That was 8 days ago. Tyler Glasnow has started twice. He's gone 3 innings total. Roki Sasaki made his Cactus League debut last night. 3 scoreless innings of relief. The opening day starter, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, has started 3 games and leads the team with 8 innings, 4 of them coming last night. So just 1 inning of work so far from Blake Snell in a Cactus League game. He has thrown on the backfields as well, Jerry, but fans might look at that and see a limited workload and wonder whether he will be truly built up for the start of the season.
No concern whatsoever. You got to remember, our season starts a little earlier now in Japan. We're going to have those 2 games in Japan. We already know Blake Snell will not start in one of those games, so he's getting plenty of work done, making sure he's ready when we come back and start the season. So it really needs, 3 weeks to really start to get built up. So I am not concerned about Blake Snell whatsoever. He knows what he needs to get done. And remember, last season, he didn't have a spring training. So now he's got a long build-up. Blake Snell will be just fine.
It's all about being healthy down the stretch and into October. And then you've got Roki Sasaki. He had thrown on the backfields as well. Jerry made his Cactus League debut last night, and boy, was he impressive in his 3 innings of work.
Absolutely electric. And listen, the first thing we want to look at with Roki Sasaki, how would he fare in a big league game under the lights there? He had fastball command. That split or forkball was absolutely devastating. He did feature a slider. He threw it 3 times. I think he's going to need that pitch moving forward. But I think that is a huge step forward for Roki Sasaki, not just in Cactus League play, but now he goes out there, his next start or outing, he pitches well. I think he's in line. Game number 2 in Japan.
That's what Dave Roberts said this morning. It looks like he is back on track to start the 2nd game in Japan. Meanwhile, Tyler Glasnow threw 16 pitches in his first start, then 22 pitches in 2 innings the last time out 3 days ago. Jerry, we know he made some minor mechanical changes in the offseason, and early on he sounds pleased with how it's translating.
Well, remember, he is a big guy, so those changes can be an issue early on to make sure you repeat your delivery. Once again, similar to Blake Snell, he's got a longer time frame to get ready for the season. The most important thing, I know, John, you touched on it, making sure he's healthy throughout the season, especially the second half of the season. He's strong heading into the postseason.
Big reason why he made those mechanical adjustments to make himself, give himself the best chance to be healthy for the entire season. Yoshinobu Yamamoto built up to 4 innings last night, threw 47 pitches, retired the final 8 batters he faced. He's going to make one more start in Arizona before he gets the ball for that season opener in Japan. Jerry, he looks to be in a good spot to begin the year.
I think he's in a great spot right now. Remember, last night he did have that hiccup in the first inning, but what I loved about that start, when he went obviously to the stretch, he really started to execute his pitches, and he knows how to bounce back. So he got his work in. And another thing, too, he's pitched in Japan before. He knows that stadium. He knows that environment. So he's not going to be fazed by the hoopla in pitching in Japan in Tokyo. So he's built up. He'll be ready to go.
And a lot of times in these Cactus League starts, guys are just working on things, so you can ignore some of those numbers, especially from the veteran guys. And one of the few questions still to be answered this spring is, who's going to be that 5th starter to open the season? Assuming the first 4 are set with Yoshi, Snell, Glasnow, and Sasaki. Jerry, who do you like to get that final spot?
Listen, I like the Catman right now early on. Now, listen, Dustin May, you got to remember, he's working back from an injury and also working back from surgery of his esophagus. So the Catman, Tony, I think, has the edge. He's pitched extremely well. Dustin May, I think he's taking it to the bullpen. I think this is a great idea for him to kind of really smooth his first couple months back to the big leagues. We know we get Dustin May out there. Hey, brother, let it go for a couple innings. I like that idea.
All right, we'll see him on the mound for the Dodgers tomorrow. Still more to come. 3 weeks ago, Eddie Rosario wasn't even a Dodger, and now he's tied for the team lead in home runs. More from the 6-game Cactus League winning streak coming up. Game, Jerry, we like some defense, especially the old around the horn 5-4-3 twin killing Cody Hosey, Haesung Kim, and an extended Michael Chavis.
Yeah, great play there by Michael right there, getting extended. It's tough to do, John, to stretch out, especially with that flow in the back with that hair. But sometimes you can use it as a cape. Not fly off the bag, but fly enough to be able to catch the
Whatever it was, he used it perfectly on that play. We saw a scoreless inning of work from Alex Vesia today, couple strikeouts, and he has yet to allow a run this spring. He talked about it with Kirsten.
Alex, just to get back out there, have another strong outing of spring. How are you feeling, especially considering there is now only a week left here in Arizona?
Yeah. Today's outing was much better. Last outing, I got 2 quick outs, and then things kind of snowballed a little bit. But that happens during spring. So today, first pitch strikes, and then just kind of pounding the zone. It was great.
It's been a shorter off season. There's no secret about it. But how are you feeling just kind of coming into this year? And is there anything that's been, I guess, the focus for you as you are kind of ramping up your body and getting ready for this regular season?
Nothing too specific, just sticking to the plan, right? And then communicating with our trainers and the strength staff that, just making sure the body feels good. Other than that, yeah, things are good. I'm ready to get back to Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, how are you seeing just this bullpen come together? Obviously, we've been seeing some of you guys have been stacked with each other, but how are you really just seeing kind of this group, the talent, and all of it come together?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talent, but I also think that having guys in some days and shifting us around, it also makes us closer. Because over the course of the season, things shift, man. They shift and shuffle, but yeah, it's fun. We got a good group of guys, and I'm looking forward to the season.
Obviously, last year we started the season early in Korea. What did you learn just kind of about your body and kind of managing yourself, preparing for that, and then of course coming back, you have a few days, and then get ready to pick back up the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, just staying hydrated, making sure I'm eating right. Those were 2 kind of easy ones, but then at the same time sticking to the routine. The flight, the long hours, that's manageable. But yeah, it's just making it count for day in and day out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Japan. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, before I let you go, does it feel different going into the 2025 season as a world champion?
Not really. I think yes, that we accomplished that last year. The goal is to do it again this year. That's what I'm focused on. I feel like that's what a lot of the guys are focused on, and we'll take it one game at a time.
The creator of the dogs there in the bullpen, Alex Vesia, Jerry, what an incredible 2024 he had, the 1.76 ERA. Dave Roberts was even saying he probably had a case to be an all-star last year as well. We just heard him say after today's outing, he feels really good and feels ready for the regular season.
And we know when he is feeling good, you know he is right, especially at the top of the zone with that fastball. Really can get anybody out. The righties, lefties, that fastball jumps on the hitter. Love the breaking ball, too, at times. And we know the compete will always be there. So, once again, getting these guys, vets like Vesia, making sure he's healthy, ready to go, and itching to start the season. So, good to see Alex Vesia doing okay. And we just saw him, the interview from the dog pound, John. See the hangers behind him?
Yeah.
Yes, the clubhouse there, visiting side, is 1938 style.
All right, still more to come. Baseball's version of Beatlemania. We're going to look ahead to next week's trip to Tokyo, an entire country with their eyes on the Dodgers. Some of the Dodgers' key upcoming dates with only 6 Cactus League games to go. March 18th and 19th, the Dodgers in Japan for that Tokyo series against the Cubs to open up the regular season. Then they come back to Southern California. March 23rd, the annual exhibition Freeway Series with the Angels. March 27th, it's the home opener against AL Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal and the Detroit Tigers with the World Series ring ceremony the following Friday nights. So this time next week, the Dodgers will be on their way to Japan. Only 6 games left in Cactus League play, Jerry. So what are the players trying to accomplish over this final week in Arizona?
Well, really, if you're the hitters, if you need extra at-bats, you take them right now. Maybe go to the backfield. Get maybe 8, 9, 10 at-bats. But really, if you feel great, just continue doing what you're doing. If you're, let's say, an infielder, I think you start to extend your innings. If you're playing 3 or 4 innings, you want to start to play 7, 8, 9 innings to make sure you have strong legs ready to go in Japan. If you're a pitcher, making sure you work on a particular pitch that you may not be comfortable with this final week. So, listen, these guys know what they need to do to get ready. They have 6, 7 days to do so. it's going to be exciting to go to Japan.
And Shohei says he wants to get about 50 at-bats before the regular season, so he's going to have to do some work on the backfields to get as many at-bats as he would like. That trip to Japan, though, creates a unique experience for everybody involved. The Dodgers opened the season in Australia 12 years ago. Last year, of course, they opened in South Korea, and now, Jerry, it's going to be Tokyo. From the player's standpoint, I imagine this has to be a really cool opportunity, especially with the buzz around Shohei and all of those Japanese stars coming home.
I think it's going to be incredible for the players, not just the Japanese players. We know it's going to be special for Shohei, Yamamoto, Sasaki as well. But just if you're Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, to get a chance to see how big Shohei is, I mean, it's going to be special to open up the season. It is going to be global. I think the impact it's going to have on the great game of baseball in Japan, Asian countries, but really worldwide. So players are excited about it, and not just the Dodger players. The Cub players are excited as well.
And the players, they certainly enjoyed their trip last year to South Korea, but they also admitted, Jerry, that it did take a toll on them to the point where some of them wondered whether they should even do another trip to Japan this year. But then they came back from Korea, they won 6 out of 7, and I imagine they learned a lot from that trip, so they're even better prepared this time around.
Yeah, they are better prepared, and I know they're going to take a couple extra days off to make sure they get their body, recovered for that long season. So listen, these guys are veteran guys. They know they are the Dodgers. It's almost like that traveling circus. You're traveling like the Beatles did back in the day. So they understand they are a huge ticket, not just here in the United States, but globally. So they'll make the adjustments, and they're going to have a great time in Japan.
It will be like Beatlemania once they get over to Tokyo 1 week from today. During our run as a network, the Dodgers played 2 games in Australia in 2014. 2018, they played 2 games in Monterrey, Mexico. Last year, the 2 in Seoul, South Korea. This year, 2 games in Tokyo, Jerry. But what I want to know is, where should they go next? Where would you like to see the Dodgers play internationally next?
You know what, Australia, I had to speak Australian. Remember that first year doing this at the network?
Terrible accent, by the way.
That was tough speaking Australian. But you know what? How about Brazil? Rio de Janeiro. How about we go to Brazil, but only if we're allowed to go down there with them, John? Okay, so I'm going to put my hat in the ring. We go to Brazil next.
I want to say Italy. Maybe Tuscany, do a little wine somewhere outside of the Lake Como area because, A, Ned Colletti is also going to be the GM of Team Italy, so he's trying to recruit guys. I just think it'd be a great spot to have baseball.
Free wine
Tuscany?
there in Tuscany?
Who says no?
I'm on board.
All right, well, we heard from Dave Roberts earlier with Kirsten. He's got some more updates on his players from the media scrum.
On the pitching side, what's unsettled there?
Not a whole lot. I think that, you look at, obviously, you look at the 2 guys that are going to start on the IL we just talked about. So there's 2 spots right there. So it's kind of more dependent on, where we feel our starters are at, more so than a potential matchup. Kind of coverage, protecting downside for shorter innings, not pushing guys. So I think that's kind of the decision-making process. We pretty much got a good idea where we want to go, but, we still got a week.
The multi-inning guy become more valuable because of that?
I think so. I think so, yeah.
May and Gonsolin, you got a decision there?
Yeah, well, there's decisions to be had, and they'll both have another outing, whether it's as starting a game or out of the pen. But, yeah, we'll see those guys, too.
Did Tony pitch on one of those backfield games Monday?
Tony, yes, yeah, he did. He pitched the other day against I think that Korean team, and was 3 innings, 45 pitches, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of swing and miss, and looked sharp.
It's Snell too.
Yeah, Blake and Tony pitched together. I don't. He's got to still face some hitters, so I'm not sure even when that is.
So Blake and Tony, they'll have one more probably? Just maybe, I guess, Sunday?
Tony and
Blake Snell, sorry.
Yeah, they'll have one more, yeah.
All right, straight ahead, final thoughts. We will look ahead to tomorrow. Dustin May, Code Red, making his final start of the spring.
Roki, you are in your Dodgers blue. You're here at spring training. What has the first few weeks been like for you as a Dodger?
初日はちょっと緊張したんですけど、
the first day I was a little nervous, but from the second day onwards, I've been able to get used to things, and I've been able to sort of practice at my own pace.
What has been the best part of just being here so far? Whether it's been building relationships with the guys, now being in Major League Baseball, what has been your favorite part thus far?
そうですね。まずはロハス選手に
being able to thank Miguel Rojas, I think was the highlight for me so far.
Konnichiwa.
I mean, he'd heard that Rojas was into sake, and so he thought that would be a good gift.
背番号ありがとうございます。
Miguel wants to thank you for that overall.
Of course.
これは日本の
This always happened the other way around. Young player give the number to the veteran. But for me, it's a pleasure that I can give you the number because I know it means something to you. Same thing, the number 11 means something to me and the organization. I want him to know that before me, he was another guy that was pretty popular in LA. And so those guys are important in our culture, and hopefully we can actually continue to do this.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Again.
Let's go back to when you signed with the Dodgers.
Roki, we are honored and thrilled to have you join the Dodgers family. You will not only add to our rich legacy, but you will also play an instrumental part in helping us write the next chapter in Dodgers history.
What made this organization the best fit for you?
そうですね。
The stability of the front office, and then the environment where I felt like I could develop the most. I think the Dodgers had the most of all the factors that I was looking for.
Speaking of that development, what has it been like just getting to know Mark Pryor, Connor McGinnis, and working with the pitching staff as you continue to develop?
本当に素晴らしい人が、揃ってると思いますし、ただコミュニケーション取れた時間は短いのでまだ。
I think that they're all excellent people. The time that I've had to spend so far to talk to them has been pretty limited. So I want to continue to communicate with them through camp and as the season goes along, and hopefully have a good relationship with them.
This is a big transition to come to Major League Baseball, and I have to imagine with having familiar faces like Shohei Ohtani as well as Yoshinobu Yamamoto, how beneficial has it been having them with this transition to Major League Baseball to living in the States and playing for the Dodgers?
そうですね。キャンプ入って動きとか日本と違う。
Just being in spring training, there's obviously a lot that's different from how things are in Japan. There's a lot that I don't know, and so being able to talk to them has helped me just be prepared for the day, to know how the day is going, and so that has been really helpful.
We're now here in Arizona for spring training, but soon we'll be back in Los Angeles. Is there anything that you're looking forward to most about being in LA, whether it's, I know we talked about going to the beach, things like that. What are you looking forward to most?
でもまずは球場で、今年は工事中だったんで、球場。
The stadium was obviously under renovation, so just being able to see the field and the new clubhouse that I've heard about is something I'm looking forward to.
What do you think it's going to be like when you first go out onto that mound at Dodger Stadium?
そうですね。まずは開幕して、メジャー契約をまず勝ち取れるように頑張りたいです。
So yeah, right now I just want to make sure I make the big league team, and then be in that position to take them out of Dodger Stadium and do everything I can to make sure I'm there all year.
Well, Roki, I know that this entire organization is so happy that you have chosen to be a part of the Dodgers. We've seen you with your bullpens. There's so much excitement already. So wishing you nothing but the best in this 2025 season, and thank you for joining us. Arigato.
Thank you.
That's all I know. I will learn some more, I promise.
ついに2025年シーズンの開幕が目前に迫ってきました。ロサンゼルス・ドジャースはスプリングトレーニングを経て準備万端の状態で東京での開幕戦に臨みます。ここまでのキャンプでは選手一人一人が自身の役割を理解し、 それぞれの調整プランに沿って着実に仕上げてきました。今シーズンのドジャースはまさにグローバルスーパーチームとして世界中の野球ファンを魅了することになるでしょう。今チームの雰囲気はかつてないほど高まっており、新たなシーズンの幕開けを待ちきれない気持ちが伝わってきます。今シーズンのドジャースは圧倒的な投手陣を擁し、リーグ屈指のローテーションを誇ることになるでしょう。昨年のオフシーズンに大型補強を進め、最強ともいえる陣容を整えました。まず開幕戦の先発を任されたのは山本由伸です。日本プロ野球で数々の栄光を手にしてきた山本がついに MLB のマウンドに立つ日がやってきました。彼の速球、制球力、そして落差の大きい変化球はメジャーリーグの打者たちにどれほど通用するのか、世界が注目するデビュー戦となります。そして話題沸騰中の佐々木朗希、彼はスプリングトレーニングで鮮烈なデビューを飾り、その圧倒的なピッチングで世界中のファンを驚かせました。特に160キロを超える速球と魔球のようなスプリッターはメジャーの打者たちにとっても未知の脅威となるでしょう。佐々木が次に登板するのは日本での開幕シリーズ第2戦と予想されています。彼が再び日本のファンの前で投げる姿を想像するだけで胸が熱くなります。また昨年リーグの際ヤング賞を受賞したブレイク・スネルもスプリングトレーニングでは慎重な調整を続けています。彼は実戦登板が少ないものの裏でしっかりと準備を進めており、シーズン本番では間違いなくエース級の働きを見せるはずです。昨シーズンのような圧倒的なピッチングを再現できればドジャースの優勝への道はさらに盤石なものになるでしょう。さらにタイラー・グラスノーもオフにフォームをホロ調整し、より安定した投球を目指しています。彼の長身から繰り出される高速ボールは対戦打者にとって大きな脅威となるでしょう。怪我のリスクと向き合いながらのシーズンとなりますが、彼が健康な状態で投げ続けられればドジャースのローテーションはさらに強固なものになります。3月18日と19日、東京ドームで行われるシーズン開幕戦は単なる開幕シリーズではなく野球界にとって歴史的な瞬間となります。ドジャースの日本人選手たちにとっても特別な意味を持つ舞台です。大谷翔平はついに母国のファンの前でドジャースのユニフォームを着てプレーすることになります。彼の一挙手一投足が注目される中、日本での開幕戦でどのようなパフォーマンスを見せるのか、昨年の怪我から完全復活を遂げるシーズンとなる今、彼のバットがどのように火を吹くのか、多くのファンが期待しています。山本由伸の MLB デビュー戦も日本のファンにとって特別な瞬間です。彼が日本球界を代表するエースから MLB の新たなスターへと変貌を遂げる第一歩を東京の地で目撃することができます。佐々木朗希もまた日本のファンにとって忘れられないピッチングを披露することでしょう。彼が東京ドームで再び驚異的な投球を見せることができれば、その名はさらに世界に轟くことになります。日本中が熱狂し、ドジャースが世界に誇るグローバルチームとしての存在感を見せつけるこの2試合はまさに新たな伝説の始まりとなるでしょう。昨年の韓国シリーズに続き、今年は東京での開幕戦、ドジャースはまるでビートルズのように世界中のファンを熱狂させる存在となっています。メジャーリーグの中でも圧倒的なブランド力を持ち、世界中で愛される球団となった今、その影響力は計り知れません。このようなグローバルな展開は野球というスポーツの新たな可能性を切り開くものでもあります。日本、韓国、アメリカ、そして世界中のファンが一体となり、野球を通じてつながることができる時代が来たのです。MLB の中でも特にドジャースは、このグローバル、ベースボールの象徴ともいえる存在です。一部では、日本での開幕戦は移動負担にならないのかという懸念もありますが、昨年の韓国遠征後、ドジャースは6勝1敗という驚異的なスタートを切りました。遠征の影響をうまく管理し、むしろチームの結束を高める要素として活用できるのがドジャースの強みです。今年も東京から世界一への旅が始まります。ここまで読んでくれたあなたに伝えたいことがあります。2025年シーズン、ドジャースは勝つことを目標に戦いますが、ファンの応援があってこそ、その目標は現実のものになります。開幕戦から一緒に戦いましょう。どんな試合も見逃さないように、しっかりと応援の準備をしてください。試合が始まれば、あなたの応援が選手たちの力になります。コメントで、あなたの注目選手や期待するプレーについて教えてください。そして、試合後にはリアルタイムで試合を振り返りましょう。ドジャースのシーズンは、これから始まります。3月18日、東京ドームで新たな伝説の第一歩が刻まれる瞬間を、ぜひ目撃してください。ドジャースの快進撃、 そして世界一への旅はここから始まります。